Welcome to Capital Financing Friday Finance Focus for the 30th of November. This week in the news. Each week LinkedIn on Saturday have articles and feedback about different topics, usually around employment and careers. Small business owners and entrepreneurs have the same issues, and sometimes to an extent from high profile careers. This week they talked about getting a kickstart in your life or career by writing your own eulogy. If you're feeling stuck in your business and wondering why you're doing what you're doing, then do the same thing as a business person. What is your legacy? What do you want to be remembered for? The article goes on to say, when we imagine our deaths and even write drafts of the way we'd like to be remembered, we can imagine our priorities and goals from a broader perspective. Executive coach Daniel Harkavy encourages the CEOs he works with to draft two eulogies, the one that they would read today and another that encompasses all of their future achievements. Comparing the two can help you re-evaluate how you are spending your time and the decisions you are making. Small Business Ombudsman Kate Carnell said the Banking Royal Commission had caused banks to tighten lending restrictions, causing more than 25% of small and medium businesses to turn to family for loans, paywall. Cornell said falling residential property prices were also hurting small businesses, as most lenders required bosses to put up their homes as collateral. Idea of the day from this week in LinkedIn: we need corporate compassion, says Ray Chambers, chairman of the MCJ Amelia Foundation. Since our businesses and places of employment take up most of our waking hours, should not those businesses become the centres of compassion in our country and in our communities? Sydney and Melbourne house prices have fallen lower than official numbers, indicating both markets are nearing the bottom of their downward cycles, real estate agent John McGrath claimed. Mr McGrath claimed CoreLogic numbers are lagged and Sydney prices have fallen up to 10 to 15% as opposed to 7.4% in the year to October, and Melbourne prices have fallen about 10% against reported 4.7%. We are halfway through the cycle would be my best estimate. It may get a bit worse before it gets better, but I think most of the price correction has been seen already, he said to the company's annual general meeting last week. Shadow banking executives say the Big Four have been overzealous in lifting their lending standards, which has sent a flood of new business their way, but they have hit back at suggestions they are extending easy money to risky borrowers. Now everyone is applying the same rules, non-bank lender Resimax Mary Plowman told the Australian Securitisation Forum in Sydney, amid concerns that a pullback in bank lending was aggravating a property correction. New research from University of Sydney showed that by offering flexible conditions for everyone as opposed to a few, boosted female participation and didn't hurt the bottom line. Case study PwC continued double-digit revenue growth since it introduced an all-roles flex policy, and female representation increased from 46% to 48% within 2 years. The proportion of staff reporting on improvement in work-life balance also increased from 68% to 77%. Idea of the day from LinkedIn this week: don't let a busy work schedule stop you from doing the things you really want to do, says Big Red Group founder and entrepreneur Naomi Simpson. We talk about a bucket list as if it's a one-day, Sunday, maybe thing. But today is the day to reflect on the list and book it in with the people who are most important to you. ANZ Chief Executive Shayne Elliott conceded to the Banking Royal Commission this week that the bank took too long to discover, report and repay customers unfairly charged for services by the bank. Elliott also rejected a push to make banker pay and bonuses public, saying it would create a sense of ritualistic shaming and culture of fear at the bank. It's the Commission's final week of hearings from the banking sector. This week, rock and roll team building owner and Grammy-nominated songwriter Kieran Gribben talks about how to make corporate team building days effective. Gribben works with large corporate audiences such as AMP, Diageo, Schneider Electric and Tourism Australia. At these events, he shares stories about growing up during the North Island conflict, working with artists such as Madonna, U2 and Paul McCartney, and his time as a singer with INXS. He calls for volunteers to dress up and go backstage to practice harmonies before writing a company song and getting everyone to sing along. You can read that in AFR this week. And finally, idea of the day from LinkedIn: it's easy to grow comfortable in our very own information bubbles. But the MIT Leadership Centre's Hal Gregerson argues that to grow and improve, we must break out of that comfort zone once in a while and explore new territory. Too many leaders get their information catered, picked, prepared and plated for them in a way they've already indicated they'll find palatable. To fight back, they need to get out into the field gathering raw stuff on their own. That's it for this week. As usual, my headline, my news sources are from linkedin.com and afr.com, and you can follow us on Facebook at Capital Financing Australia and like the page to get the weekly Friday Finance Focus.